The first thing you learn on Kepri 9 is that nothing is truly silent. Even in the ruins, even in the vacuum-sealed corridors abandoned centuries ago, the planet hums. The stone sings at frequencies your bones feel before your ears do. I was listening to that hum when the radio crackled to life in my hands, an ancient, battered transmitter that should not have worked at all. I was not supposed to be here. My contract said communications technician, 3rd class, which meant fixing relay towers on the edge of human colonies, not crawling through alien mausoleums with a toolkit held together by tape and stubbornness. But when the expedition lost contact with orbit, I was the only one who could read the interference patterns and say, with uncomfortable certainty, that the signal wasn't dead. It was trapped. The Kepri were gone, or so the historians claimed. An insectoid civilization ruled by a single queen, vanished after a civil war so old it had turned into myth. Their technology was organic, grown rather than built, and notoriously incompatible with human systems, which was exactly why they needed me. The transmitter I found was embedded in the wall of a vast chamber shaped like a spiral. Resinous pillars rose into darkness, pulsing faintly as if breathing. At the center lay a dais, cracked and burned, and half fused into it was the radio, human make, emergency grade, its casing warped by heat. When I touched it, the hum changed. I did what I always do when machines misbehave. Talk to it. All right, I muttered, pulling off my gloves. Let's see what you're trying to say. The radio's circuits were fried, but not randomly. Something had rewritten them, threading alien biofiber through human copper. It was beautiful in a way that made my chest ache. Whoever had done this hadn't wanted to break the radio. They wanted it to speak in a new language. As I resoldered a connection, the chamber lights flared. A voice poured out of the radio, layered and harmonic, each word overlapping itself like an echo chasing its origin. Finally, froze. I said brilliantly. Hello. The walls shuddered. Somewhere deep in the structure, massive doors began to close. One by one, the exits sealed with a sound like thunder wrapped in silk. The voice returned clearer now. You fixed my voice. That was when she arrived. The alien queen did not descend in a flash of light or a cloud of guards. She emerged from the shadows as if she had always been there, unfolding herself from the architecture. She was enormous, her body segmented and iridescent, wings folded like cathedral windows along her back. Her eyes, dozens of them, focused on me with terrifying precision. She regarded the radio in my hands, then me. Come here, human. The door behind me sealed completely. Every instinct I had screamed to run, but there was nowhere to go. So I did the second bravest thing I could think of. I walked toward her. Close I could see the damage. Scars ran along her thorax, old and new, some cauterized, some still raw. This was not a ghost or a myth. This was a survivor. The radio, I said, my voice shaking despite my best efforts. It was damaged. I fixed it. You restored the bridge. She lowered herself until we were eye to eye. The pressure of her presence made my teeth ache. My people are scattered. Silent. I have called into the dark for generations. Generations. The radio trembled in my hands. You've been broadcasting this whole time. Yes. Yes. And no one answered. Her wings twitched, sending a ripple through the air. Your kind heard only noise. Understanding bloomed, cold and heavy. The signal had been there all along, buried beneath layers of interference humans never thought to translate. We'd written it off as cosmic static. I can help, I said before I had time to think. I can retune it, boost it, make it something others can hear. Her gaze sharpened. Why would you help me? Because I was a technician, not a soldier. Because fixing broken things was the closest I came to prayer. Because you asked, I said. The middle of the story, though I didn't know it then, was measured in days without sunlight. The Queen brought me deeper into the hive, past chambers filled with dormant technology and the husks of long-dead Khepri. She watched as I worked, adjusting the radio to interface with her organic network, translating pulses into patterns human receivers could understand. In return, she told me her story. The Civil War had not been between factions, but philosophies. Some Khepri wanted to merge with younger species, to guide them. Others feared dilution, extinction through kindness. The war shattered the hive. The Queen survived, sealed away by her own guardians to prevent further bloodshed. By the time the doors reopened, there was no one left to hear her. When the radio finally came online, the signal burst outward like a star being born. Human satellites caught it. So did others. Traders, scavengers, species humanity hadn't even named yet. Hope, it turns out, travels fast. The ending came quietly. The Queen stood before the open doors of the hive, light spilling in for the first time in centuries. Ships hovered in the distance, hesitant but listening. You have done what my own could not. I swallowed. So what happens now? She considered me for a long moment. Now I keep my promise. Part of me tensed. Promise. Come here, human. She extended one delicate, clawed limb and pressed it gently to my chest. Warmth spread through me, not painful, not invasive. You are now a bridge. Understood then. Not a prisoner. Not a pet. Translator. A living connection between worlds that had been deaf to one another for too long. When I finally left Khepri 9, the hum followed me into space, softer now, threaded with voices answering back. And somewhere behind sealed doors that no longer meant silence, an alien queen spoke, and the universe listened. The door did not close behind me when I left. That was the detail that stayed with me most as my shuttle lifted from the hive and broke through the amber clouds of Khepri 9. For the first time since I had arrived, the massive resin gates remained open, their edges glowing faintly as if the structure itself were breathing freely again. The Queen stood at the threshold, wings unfurled, no longer hiding in shadow. She did not wave. She did not need to. Her presence filled the sky like gravity. The broadcasts continued for weeks. Human networks argued at first, about protocols, about threats, about whether a queen who could seal doors with a thought should be trusted. But debate could not drown out the signal. The Queen did not demand worship or surrender. She told stories. She shared history. She mourned her people openly, without disguising grief as strength. That honesty changed everything. Delegations arrived. Not armies, listeners, engineers, linguists. Entire species who had once mistaken her call for background noise now leaned closer, adjusting their instruments, realizing they had almost missed something extraordinary. As for me, I became exactly what she said I would be. Bridge. I spent my days translating frequencies and my nights remembering the moment she sealed the door and said, "Come here, human." What I once heard as a command, I now understood as an invitation. Not to submission but to connection. The Queen never followed me beyond her world. She did not need to. Her voice traveled farther than any ship ever could.